Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. Let's get started with our hosts, Linda McKissack and Dana Gentry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. I'm Linda McKissack.
And I'm Dana Gentry.
Hey, Dana, how are you?
I'm doing good. I see you're in Montana today.
I am. It's amazing where all you can be within 24 hours. I was on the ocean yesterday and now I'm in the mountains, and I just love them both the same.
I know. I love it. Well, we were super excited about our guest today. She came highly recommended from one of our friends, and I think maybe our best listener ever, Al Donahue. I don't think Al has ever missed an episode of our podcast.
I know. I love it. I love it.
So, Stacy, welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. We're excited to talk to you. So tell us a little bit just about you and your backstory, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty of you in real estate.
Sure. Hey, guys. Thank you so much, Linda, Dana, for having me. And I actually want to thank Al for introducing me to your podcast, because now I might be runner-up for most listened. We've been listening to everything. It's awesome. It's great. So basically, I started in real estate in 2000, tail end of 2009, and really got my first sale, singular, in 2010. And before that, I had been in the fashion industry in sales, on the sales side. So about 17 years working in New York City, basically getting up to that director of sales position, running sales teams all over the country, and then pivoted to real estate.
Wow. What got you to real estate? I mean, what made you go from that to that?
So I got fired. That was big. I like saying that out loud. It was 2008 when everything was going crazy, and I was like a lot of other females trying to balance being a mom and being at the top of my career. And I was trying to get Friday's work at home, which now seems like no big deal. And and so I end up becoming the scapegoat for something, and was able, the company I was with was another female president, and unfortunately I don't think females were very good to females in that industry. And so, she was able to let me go and basically make me a scapegoat for something that had happened with inventory and whatnot. And so I had the first break I've had since, I've been out of college. I mean, I can't remember a time where I wasn't working. So my husband, that was it. So I had a break, and that lasted all of about, 6 months. I have a bucket list of everything I wanted to do. Cause it's like, you're working and you're like, okay, I want to go be the coach for my kids' baseball team, and I want to be on the HSA, and I want to sing with a rock band. Well, that's maybe specific to me, but I love to sing. And I wanted to volunteer in the business for the town. I just wanted to do all these things, and I did. And of course, I just drove my family bananas, basically, because I like to be building, and I organized every single closet in the house. It was just insanity. And so at some point my husband said, maybe you should think about doing something else. And I think, like a lot of other people, maybe he said, how about real estate?
Yeah.
But, and so the rest is, history. So,
well, we always like to say that usually what feels like the worst thing ever happens to you winds up being the greatest blessing. You just give it time. You got to ask, what did I learn from it? What could I do differently? And so it doesn't feel like it at the time, but always, if you're open to it, I think leads you to something even better.
Right. So Linda, it wasn't the first year, the second year, the third year where you would have had me on any kind of interview and I would have announced, because I got fired.
Yeah.
Right? That wouldn't have been it. But I think, you get to a place where you realize that it's only from those experiences that you were able to, take that next step. And my takeaway from that was I should have done it sooner, but I was afraid.
Yeah.
I should have done it sooner, but I was afraid because, you have a lot coming in, and starting a new career like anything else that's fresh and new, can be scary, right? For a lot of different reasons. And the whole world was falling apart. I mean, remember I got a call from my husband who was in the financial industry and said, everything, put your money under the mattress. I mean, that was like, we all still have like post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was a hard time. Well, okay, so I don't want to skip the middle, but if we fast forward 13 years later to today, share with our listeners what your business looks like today, and then we'll talk about kind of how you got there.
Sure. So, so today, and so last year, the team did about 218 million in sales.
No.
I was just writing my numbers down. We are the #1 luxury team for KW last year for the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and definitely the #1 KW team in the entire NJ MLS. And this year, right now, let me see, I'm just writing this down. So this year, we're right about 100 and it was like, we're right about like at 170 million right now.
Wow.
So definitely a very different year for a lot of reasons, which I'm happy to talk about. And we are, so yeah, that's where the business is right now. I was a co-launcher of the KW Tenafly office in Bergen County. So for everybody listening, Bergen County is Eastern Bergen County. We're right outside of New York City. We're like 7 miles out of the GW, George Washington Bridge. And yeah, so we're very close to New York City. Bergen County is very populated, and there's another zip code every 10 minutes in Bergen County. So, and Al Donahue is the operating principal for Bergen County Partners. And so I was one of the first ones to open, and I came out of Sotheby's.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So is there, I mean, and you know your area so well, is there anything but luxury, or did you choose luxury, and why, and all that? Because I think sometimes people think, oh, I want to do luxury, but you know, some people, it kind of has to be a real conscious choice because that's only a limited amount of homes in their area. So tell us about them. So
the average price point in our area is probably about $758 in all of Bergen. As a producer, so remember, I'm a team leader and I'm a producer. So as a producer, I'm in production, right? So for anybody who's in a group, you know that you have multiple roles, right? So one of my roles is as a production agent. My average price point is about $1.55 million, right? My team's average price point is about $890,000, right? Okay. So, and to answer your question, so yes, there's absolutely stuff that's not luxury. I actually believe that there's a luxury segment in any market, because there are always sellers who believe their house is a luxury house in their market. And I think a lot of it is a mentality, and you just have to know when to identify it, right? So like I could say objectively that the top 5 to 10% of any market could be considered a luxury market. And people want to feel like they're special. And when they've done a whole lot of stuff to their house, they definitely want to be identified as being the house that feels luxury compared to all the other houses. And that's a pretty cool key takeaway for anybody who wants to break into the higher price point of whatever market they're in, right? The higher price point. So
was it a conscious decision for you? Was it a conscious decision? No,
it wasn't. I mean, it just was the world I was in. And it's not that I grew up that way. It's just I'm in a zip code and I have a sphere of influence that had more expensive houses. Not my first house, by the way. My first house that I sold was like 4 zip codes away from me and in a different area. And it was like 780,000, which I know to the rest of the country is high, but not to us.
Yeah.
So you just take it where you can get it.
Yeah.
Not everybody on my team is quote unquote the luxury agent. Not everybody on my team. I have one person on my team whose average price point is closer to like 750, 800, right at that opening price point for our market.
Gosh, I have so many questions. Okay, what is the market there today like compared to last year?
Yeah, so right now our MLS is is we're down in units and sales, so anywhere between 25 to 30%.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what's going on. But we're not down in median price point. We're up in median price point between 2 and 9%, depending on the market area.
So prices aren't coming down. So
prices are not coming down. Days on the market are not coming down. If anything, they're shortening depending on the market. So like the opening price point markets that I just talked about, like the $850,000, which 2 years ago were probably closer to $700,000 or $650,000. Those days on the markets are shortening, and list to sale price is also getting higher. Did I say that right? List to sale price.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like 101% as opposed to 99.8%.
Yeah.
Days on the market. And so the stuff that's new listings of obviously just the inventory, not enough. So I do market videos, and I break it up and talk about how our business is trending. And I say, okay, well, you have how much we've sold plus what's pending. And that's talking about demand, right? But you have to really look at the new product that's come to the market. And when you do look at new product, you could see how we're almost equally down in new product as we are to sales, which is very interesting. Yeah.
How are you and your team pivoting in a down market? And the reason why I ask that is because so many people who haven't lived through a downturn or through a shift are panicking right now. Like they're panicking. They're just seeing their deals go down, their GCI go down. And so everyone's looking kind of for that, magic answer, which we know there's really not one, but likes to hear what other people are doing too.
Yeah, I was thinking about this question and also listening to you all talk just what else is the tenor of what's going on in other markets, right? So one of you asked me, like, I said, what was I talking about? And you said superpower. I said, what's my superpower? So I think one of your superpowers has to be pivoting, right? And I think we've done a really good job of it. I've also had some great coaching. I was coached with Kristen Cole for a very long time. Just recently took a pause because I just needed a break to reset myself. But like Chris, so you have to be surrounded by people who are doing it at different levels, paces, who are more objective than you. And we started pivoting before anybody else, even when COVID broke, we started pivoting. So the biggest challenge I think, like to your point, is people have to remember what it's like to be prospecting, and that's a huge challenge, right? So it's not that we're not busy and all of a sudden we have all this time. We're just working harder for what we have. And we have to remember we have two jobs, right? We have the job of being in the deal and the job of finding the business, two jobs. So what happens, like anything, like normal, is we get caught up in the activity and the chaos will swallow us up. And then we wake up and we're like, wait a minute, we stopped prospecting. And that's how we get a little of that roller coaster. And we're so addicted to the high of the deal that the prospecting part kind of sucks. It just does. It sucks. We don't get that natural, like we're adrenaline junkies in that way, right? So I think that the way that we as a team do this, and I just did this with my team, is I stood in the team, and every Wednesday we have our meetings, and they're therapy session meetings, and we call them status updates. But what we do in those meetings is we talk about our fail forwards and we talk about our ahas. And I think as a team leader, they want to see authenticity from me. They want to see genuine, how do I really feel? What did I screw up? And how are we going to make it better? Just like you had said, Linda. So the conversation is, last 2 weeks ago, I started with, I hate my job because. Literally went around the room and we're like, I hate, and what prompted that was I did not follow up on a listing personally. And I woke up to see that a $3 million listing went to my competitor.
Oh, punch in the gut. That's like when you pull in your driveway and your neighbor has a sign in the yard.
And I was like, I'm dying. And we were so busy over the summer that I got cocky. I forgot what I was doing. I wasn't doing my follow-up, whatever it was. And anyway, so I sat with the team and I said, let's talk about it, why the job sucks. And they were all like, okay, let's do that. And then of course it led to, okay, but what do we like about it? Right? What do we like about it? And one of the superpowers that I feel good about is being able to create an environment and a culture where people can be the best versions of themselves. That's absolutely, I think, what always makes people top producers. It's creating that environment that you're not in, that it's not just about you, that you're part of something bigger, and in being able to share all these things that are so tough for us, we can actually be better producers from all of that. So that's first. Pivoting is just asking ourselves that focusing question about what are the leading indicators that we need to be doing, and then breaking those things down into bite-sized little nuggets that feel achievable. That's it. It's just about that. So one thing I've learned is that I can't make people do lead gen that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I can't make somebody into a cold caller who literally doesn't want to be a cold caller. I can't make somebody do door knocking. That's just never going to do that. We can work on scripts, definitely, to make them more comfortable in asking for business in a way that feels comfortable for them. I'm very good at that. That is something that my team thrives on, is creating scripts that are comfortable for them. But nonetheless, the focusing question is, what do I need to, it's about one thing, right? Like, what do I need to be doing right now that's going to make the difference? And chunking it down into the 12-week year, into then into that 1 week task list about what I'm doing.
So what are some of the things you guys have done, or that they've either come up with themselves for lead generation? What are some of those ideas?
So I'm going to tell you that what I found to be the biggest struggle is the agents definitely are good at the FaceTime. Mm-hmm. That's good. They're good at doing micro events, right? We're very good at the event business.
Meaning like if they can get in front of somebody, they've got them. It's the how to get them. Okay, got it.
So we're in a contact sport, right? I've been at one sales meeting. I did bring in a football and started throwing it to everybody. I'm like, you're in a contact sport.
Yeah.
So we're in a contact sport. So how many contacts are you going to have? Those are the leading indicators. Like waking up 3 months from now and being upset that you didn't do what you needed to do 3 months ago. I said, it will never happen in this team. Mm-hmm. If you wake up 3 months from now and you don't feel like you did the business, it's not going to be because you weren't aware. It's going to be because you decided that you don't want to do the things you need to do. That's the only reason, right? Yeah. So the things that the FaceTime, getting in front of past clients, like my past client business doubled last year to this year. I was just looking at my numbers, right? Whereas my open house business is down. And there's reasons for that, because we don't even have, that's a whole nother conversation. But my past client business is doubled. I had a Zillow business last year, flex the bad leads, nothing good was coming of that. Boom, started to fly away. So again, going from 7 million to 14 million to 21 million in past client and sphere referrals. Wow. That's important. So what I decided to do is I said, how are you going to get in front of your database in a meaningful way? So micro events are very good, because that doesn't mean I'm throwing this huge event. It means coffee. So one of them that worked really well is they had somebody local do a fitness class just for their clients, and they made
a great idea.
It was fun. They did 5 or 6 leads from that. Another one was they did a happy hour, 5 or 6 leads from that. That was easy. Another one is we did a make your own orchid DIY. So because I have a staging company separately, and I do all the faux floral. I do a lot of faux floral stuff. So everybody always loves them. I'm like, all right, let's do an event. That's easy. Yeah. So that's easy. So those are really good. We did a block party. Like that's, again, not that hard. People love it. And it's just all that conversation. These are doesn't have to be big, but these are the micro events that the agents love to do.
And you're having so much fun doing it. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, they're good at that, and it feels comfortable. And then if you want to take it down to something smaller, it's how many clients did you move in last year, and have you visited their new house?
Yeah.
Right. So it's, have you gone into their homes and seen what they've done since you moved them in? Right.
Yeah.
Since you moved them in.
Well, you're saying exactly what Tony DeCello shared at the CEO Summit, which was not just calling people saying like, hey, let's talk about real estate. You're calling people saying, hey, let's talk about you. Let's talk about your family. You know, what's going on in your life? Because people are only going to trade a 3 for a 7, or, you know, whatever rate they have for a higher one if it's because they have to.
Yeah. Right. So what I found was, you asked me, we'd say we get back to how you built your business. So my business was built on being a local expert, top of mind, community influencer, right? That's how I built my business. I did not build the business. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just the way I did it, on cold calling or cold leads or internet leads or pay-per-click. I did not do that. Yeah. We built the business a different way. With that said, I could tell you that I think the biggest pain point that I've had, that I think I've come up with a solution for, which I'm excited about, is nurturing, following up, and quality leads. So it's a whole package of things. So I did start developing a company with actually, she was a client of mine who was like a 40 under 40, like MIT grad, sold lead gen companies, crazy, really human. And we started building something over the last, it's almost been a year, that identified what these pain points were. So for instance, it starts with an automated lead nurture that is coming from contribution for your database, because it's like shake your trees, shake the trees, shake the trees, right? Yeah. So it takes away a lot of the pain points for the real estate agents, and it basically allows technology with your voice to nurture and shake the trees and continue to do that. And it's not email marketing. It's not like that. It's a lot through SMS, through Chat GPT kind of thing. And it is resulting, it's like in multiple appointments from the database, which is very exciting. Because again, what I find is like, listen, you set the appointment for the agents, they're there, right? That's easy. Yeah. So that's one. And then the other one, again, within the same company, is working on Facebook and Instagram lead generation through this company that we're building. And again, it's exactly what Dana just said. It's basically putting stuff out there that's coming from contribution. That's not just want a free market analysis, right? But it's taking the information we know people want and then putting it in a digital format and basically nurturing and going back after these people in a way that lets them literally give you their phone number. And then they give you their phone number, and then you give them something else of value, and they give you their email. And then they say, okay, let's meet. But there's all this nurturing that's going on that the agent doesn't have to do. And we've already closed about $7 million in sales from it.
Wow, that's great. Well, okay, Stacy, I love this. We might have to have you back on for a part 2, because I know we still have more questions, but we just heard on a call last week, 77% of real estate, or just, I guess, anybody in the real estate industry right now, real estate agents or business owners, are negative, have a negative mindset about the market right now. And I love that you are like excited about the market right now, and like you've came with energy to the call, and you're still innovating, and you're having ideas, and you're doing all of those things. And I just think that that's so refreshing, because I was bummed when I heard that stat. I was like, good grief, what is wrong with everybody? And so I think there's just like, we all have to kind of shift our mindset in that. But will you kind of end with like, why? I don't even know if I asked you this question in the email, but why are you excited, or why would you say agents should be excited right now about the business?
I think I think it's a challenge, and I get excited about a challenge. And I think that when the market gets tough, we lose the people that shouldn't be here to begin with. And I think that's when we take market share. And I know that's maybe what you're used to hearing, but we've always been successful at doing it that way. I think I think like it's so important if you're running a team, and I know you have single agents and non-single agents, but for me, I have to always be thinking about what else could I be doing for my team? What else can I be doing for my team? And so like I'm excited about being able to offer them this agent enabled tech product, because I feel like it's putting leads in their hands. And that's exciting. It's allowing me to bring on some new agents. And maybe that's what you're hearing from me is like, I feel like I have somewhat of a solution to part of the problem. So I think maybe that's some of the excitement you're hearing from me. But in general, you got to lean in and pivot and look at it as a challenge. And everybody's saying the same thing, like go back to basics, but be open to some new solutions.
Yeah. I keep saying like, go back to basics, but in today's times, because you can go back to basics, but things are different now. So if you're going back to the basics of lead gen, but are you using chat GPT or whatever, or are you, direct messaging where you might have door knocked before? Like it is basic, but it's new.
Here's what I feel. I don't know if I have another minute or not. It is I get very overwhelmed. Like even when I'm on the Gary Keller Mastermind group, and even when I'm listening to you guys, like I'm like, because there's so many things to do. And I was listening to you guys talk, and Linda said, you know what, we're giving you all these things, pick 3. And you're totally right, pick 3. So it is not possible for an agent to do all of these tech-enabled things without the right tech partner. Impossible.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm excited about having a tech partner to help me do the nurture, the follow-up. I almost missed a listing, another like $2 million listing, because somebody messengered me in Facebook, right?
Oh.
And I didn't see it. Thank God my operations director, Hoda, saw it. But that was a real pain point. So in this tech solution, all of my messages from all of my different platforms literally go into one screen on my phone.
Yeah, that's great.
So I'm not going to miss it again. It's basic, right?
Yeah. I did 1000 Watt just came out with some sort. I can't remember the exact. I'm going to butcher it, so I'm not even going to say what it is. But it was a percentage of people who communicate through direct messages versus through text messages, and the DMs were higher than the text were now. And I was like, holy cow.
So like, you're amazing. You guys, I'm not just saying it. You guys are amazing. You're authentic. You're authentic. You guys come from heart. You talk about, knowing who you are, knowing your value, which is so important. We talk about that all the time, especially in a shifting market. And you have to know what you can and can't control, and what you're good at and what you're not good at. And I have been searching for a tech solution for a long time, so I am not good at that, but I know what I want to get out there, and I know how I want the business to come back to me. So this Agent Moves company, I'm excited about, and I don't want to miss a listing lead. I don't want to miss it from DM or from Messenger. I don't want to worry that if I ask for a review, that I don't get it, and then I have to follow up, and then I don't know if it's come in, and I have VAs. I've tried to automate this stuff myself. I have tried. Hasn't worked until now. So
well, good for you for having a solution. Go ahead, Linda. Sorry.
I'm going to give you guys the website if you want to know.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we were just getting ready to say. Go ahead, Linda. How can people?
I was just going to say, let us know how people find you and follow you.
Yeah, so the website, the company that I'm talking about is called agentmoves.io, agentmoves.io. And we're not like actually launching it out yet, but it's definitely for you all at least. Like take a look at it. Love to know what you think. And little by little, we're going to start to put it out there.
Awesome.
I can say the other thing I think people need to be doing is listening to people like you, because it is, if you're just sitting in your bubble and you're not listening to what other top agents are doing, you're not going to ever get to that next place.
Yeah. Love it, Stacy. Well, just to wrap us up, one of the things I was going to say is I heard you say mindset's super important, and we always agree with that. And then number 2, creativity is way more fun than being an order taker if you just let yourself be okay with it. That we're not an order taker anymore. And now you got to use creativity juices, which is way more fun than sitting around and just taking orders as they come in. And then the other thing is, and this has always been true and will always be true, 80% of everything is whether you follow up or not. And so having a good system to do that and making sure you're not letting those deals fall through the crack because you'll have a heart attack So Stacy, thank you. This has been awesome. I agree, Dana. We do need part 2 on this.
I love ladies. You're amazing. Thank you.
Stacy, tell them how, for referral purposes, like how can they get in touch with you? Where can they follow you? Your team name?
So Stacy Esser Group on Instagram.
Okay.
And stacyessergroup.com website. And I will give you I'm going to give you my personal cell, which of course is crazy, but my personal cell, if anybody wants to reach out, is 917-621-6794. I do have a business phone number, which I forgot. So that's why we give you my personal phone. But you'll write to me, and we love doing referrals all across the country. And I'm happy to mastermind with anybody who wants to become a better version of themselves. All for it.
Love it. Awesome.
So be sure, if you have not hit the subscribe button, go ahead and hit that button right now. And the greatest compliment you can give Dana and I is, number one, a great review, but even better than that, pass this podcast along to anyone that you think that would benefit from these conversations. If you have a challenge, an opportunity, or a guest, wonderful guest like Stacy that you think would be great on the podcast, be sure and reach out to us at info at everything life and real estate. And Stacy, wow, thank you. What a bright light in a time when people are looking for ideas and how to get out of those bad moods about the market. So thank you, Stacy.
Thank you, Stacy.
I appreciate it.
Be sure to subscribe for more business strategies and tactics to inspire you to live an abundant real estate life. Don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best content. Find this and other valuable information at everythinglifeandrealestate.com.